Welcome back. A 62-year-old man and a 69-year-old woman are the latest casualties of COVID-19. The Ministry of Health reported today, Monday, the 31st of May, that the total number of COVID-19 related deaths now stands at 79. Death number 78 is a 62-year-old male from Castries with underlying medical illnesses. Death number 79 is a 69-year-old female from Ancillary with underlying medical illnesses. The Ministry of Health late Sunday, the 30th of May, also received confirmation of 14 cases of COVID-19 from a batch of 118 samples. The contact tracing for these new cases is underway. Confirmation was also received of the recovery of 3 individuals. This brings the total number of active cases to 188. Presently, one of the active cases requires critical care at the respiratory hospital. The new cases bring the total number of cases diagnosed in country to date to 5,067. While the tenure of the COVID-19 wardens has come to an end, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force is still out making sure that residents abide by COVID-19 protocols. Assistant Commissioner of Police Dr. Mashama Seeley revealed how the force is able to do so.
What we had to do is make use of the Special Reserve Police and the officers at the various stations to cover the quarantine sites, because we have to have a presence there, and to do our patrols. So you find us pooling officers from various areas to form those teams to do the patrols and the checks on an evening to ensure that there's a police presence, and so people follow the protocols with regards to curfew and wearing the mask and social distancing and sanitizing.
Approximately 200 peace officers or COVID-19 wardens were selected and trained for a 2-week period and were assigned to various locations on island, tasked with assisting with the enforcement of all established protocols relating to the mitigation of the spread of COVID-19. There are signs the UK is in the early stages of a 3rd wave of coronavirus infections. That's according to a scientist advising the government. Professor Ravi Gupta from the University of Cambridge said although new cases were relatively low, the Indian variant had fueled exponential growth. He said ending COVID restrictions in England on the 21st of June should be postponed. Environment Secretary George Eustice said the government could not rule out a delay to the planned lockdown easing, but business leaders have warned of the harmful impact of any change to the proposed dates. On Monday, the UK reported more than 3,000 new COVID infections for a 6th day in a row. Prior to this, the UK had not surpassed that number since the 12th of April. No deaths within 28 days of a positive test were reported in England, Wales, or Northern Ireland, but 1 death was reported in Scotland. The Director General of the World Health Organization has called for a treaty on pandemic preparedness and response as the 74th World Health Assembly concluded on Monday. The 74th Assembly kicked off on the 24th of May in Brussels to stress the urgency of ending the COVID-19 pandemic and preventing the next one by building a healthier, safer, and fairer world. In his closing remarks, Dr. Tedros said it was crucial that an international agreement of any kind be designed and owned by all member states.
The defining characteristic of the pandemic is the lack of sharing of data, information, pathogens, technologies, and resources. These are the challenges we have been facing since the pandemic started and even before. A treaty would foster improved sharing, trust, and accountability, and provide the solid foundation on which to build other mechanisms for global health security. For peer review of national capacities, for research and innovation, for early warning, for stockpiling and production of pandemic supplies, for equitable access to vaccines, tests, and treatments, for an emergency workforce, and much more.
The WHO director urged all member states to commit to supporting the targets that were set out on the 24th of May to achieve vaccination of at least 10% of the population of all countries by the end of September and at least 30% by the end of the year.
One day, hopefully soon, the pandemic will be behind us. But the psychological scars will remain for those who have lost loved ones, health workers who have been stretched beyond breaking point, and the millions of people of all ages confronted with months of loneliness and isolation. And we will still face the same vulnerabilities that allowed a small outbreak to become a global pandemic. The questions the pandemic is asking us cannot simply be answered with new institutions, mechanisms, facilities, or processes. The challenges we face are profound, and so must be the solutions we design.
The theme for the 74th World Health Assembly was Ending this Pandemic, Preventing the Next One. Following the announcement by the government of St. Lucia to adjust some of the COVID-19 protocols for vaccinated people, members of the public are expressing their views on the changes.
On Friday, the government of St. Lucia informed of a few adjustments to the COVID-19 protocol, but for vaccinated people. The adjustments include a change to the number of people who can be at social gatherings and changes to the grab-and-go policy at bars. Members of the public have been asking for some leeway for some time now. Our team took to the streets to gauge the reaction of members of the public to the adjustment of the revised protocol. Let's hear what they had to say.
I myself would advise people to take the vaccine, and I myself take the first shot already, and then I will go and take the next one. And I think that is a good thing for the public in St. Lucia.
I think it's time for them to change and to use a new strategy where you can get the sporting activities to open. And I've said it once already, and I'll say it the second time. I personally believe that St. Lucian likes cricket, and you need to use a strategy where you can get the people vaccinated in a strategic way. In other words, that you open the stadium, whether it's Black Hat or Super League or cricket, right? And you have the people, you take the first shot. Second shot, before you go to the stadium, you have to have a second shot of vaccine and something. Even for the activities like you want to have your other activities, let's say at Pigeon Island and something.
I think that's garbage. Yeah, I think that's real garbage and thing. It don't make no sense.
As an American?
It don't make no sense and thing, lad. Trust me.
It's a very tricky situation there. It's something you're not supposed to force me to take, but when you put certain rules and regulations, the way it come in there, it's like you forcing me. Automatically, you forcing me to take it.
I consider that as a good deal because they have many alcoholics in St. Lucia. Now, it is wise to have your vaccine card. You show it to them, you drink. You satisfy, you go about your business. I don't say in buying, just one shot and go.
I think the Prime Minister is going the right way because right now, once you have vaccinated, you can be in a group of people who are being vaccinated. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
My honest opinion is I am not going to take the vaccine. Whoever wants to take it, that's fine with them, but I am not going to take the vaccine.
So then, you like to congregate, you like to socialize?
Yes, I do.
So then
as long as everybody has a mask on, it's fine with me. Whether they take the vaccine or not, that's not my problem. But as long as you have a mask, you should be able to socialize.
Yeah, you must be vaccinated. Not to allow to drink, to go anywhere. You must be vaccinated. I agree with that. With that proposal, what he implemented, I agree with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Got the corona, we have to follow the protocols. We have to protect ourselves. We have to obey the law of the land. It is a serious matter. It's a serious case. We have to be vaccinated. That's for the health or our own benefit.
And there's what you had to say. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.